When the F-Type launched last year, the world went nuts. There was this amazing car, a follow-up to one of the most beautiful cars ever built, finally here after years of anticipation. It was brilliant, good-looking and delightfully noisy, but it wasn't the car I was waiting for. That would be this. The F-Type Coupe. This was the car that Jaguar conceptualized in 2011 as the CX-16. Admittedly, the concept was a little bit different. The wing mirrors were different, the wheels were different, and the boot was a side-hinged glass affair. But at the time, it was enough to get tongues wagging about a new E-Type, a new sports car for Jaguar, a brand that really needed one. Because when you used to think of Jaguar, there wasn't too much to get the pulse racing, let's be honest. There was the XK, which is nice in a stately way but has now been killed off, the XF, which was great if you don't want a 5 Series, and the XJ, which, while very capable, doesn't scream, "Drive me, kids!" Jaguar made great cars, but they were luxurious, not visceral. Jaguar needed something to make it appeal to the people who love to drive, to feel the road through their arses, have their ears blown off with dirty noise. It needed something that would blow all the other sports cars out of the water. With the F-Type, Jaguar now has one, well, two, the Coupe and the convertible. And whether you're young or old, it has a look that appeals. And I tell you what, it really, really appeals to me. Put it like this. The convertible is like a nice big slice of gooey chocolate cake, but the Coupe is like adding a whole nother cake on top of that slice. It simply is that awesome. The roof really completes the look. It's just staggeringly beautiful. And the way Jaguar has managed to do this is thanks to its extensive use of aluminium, not only to make it look good, but to keep the weight down. However, aluminium isn't the kind of metal that can easily bend into shapes like this, so Jaguar's engineers had to use some pretty complicated techniques like triple stamping and cold pressing to create the shape they wanted out of a single piece of metal. In this case, function created form. Its beauty is no surprise. The man behind it, Ian Callum, has form in creating forms. He designed the XK, the Aston Martin DB9 and many more. On top of that, there's heritage to mine here. The XK 120, 140, 150, the C, D and E types too. There's certainly hints of those in here, especially in the back. As well as being devastatingly beautiful, it's also, unsurprisingly, pretty quick. There are a few engines to choose from, all the way from the base F-Type with a 335 brake horsepower supercharged 3-litre V6 up to this, the R. It is the fastest F-Type you can buy. It's got a 5-litre supercharged V8 with 543 brake horsepower. It's also worth noting that the Coupe is incredibly stiff, much more so than the convertible. It's got a torsional rigidity of 33,000 Newton meters per degree. I know it sounds very complicated, I can't quite get my head around what all that means myself, but in layman's terms it means that this thing is very, very stiff, which means you can have a lot more fun with it. Let's start with the basics. When you turn it on, the car's in comfortable, relax mode. The suspension's nice and cosseting. It's as comfortable on the motorway as it is on a B road, but it's not too extreme. It's what you'd expect from a big engine, comfortable Jag, really. It's everything the XK is, but a little bit more as well. Dynamic mode. Oh, dynamic mode's where it's at. Basically, it turns everything up to angry. The steering gets a little heavier, the throttle response becomes sharper, the gearbox starts becoming a wannabe racing driver's best friend, the dampers stiffen up, the whole thing just tenses up and gets ready to go. But it also gives you a nice safety net. You get a really nice sports car feeling, but you can try and fling it around and it won't let you drive off a cliff or understeer into a hedge. The car will look after you, and there's a few reasons for that. There's active dynamics, which does 500 calculations a second to make sure the car's nice and stable. Then you have a couple of firsts for Jaguar. There's the EAD, which is an electric differential. It shuffles the power between the two wheels as and when it's needed. Also, you have something called torque vectoring by braking, which dabs the brakes on the inside wheels just nicely to tuck you in for a tighter cleaner line. It's all very, very clever, and when you're properly on it, you can really feel it working. And then adaptive mode also opens up the exhaust, so you get the full noise, the full drama, and the whole thing is just maddeningly brilliant. You can of course turn all of that off, and I had a quick go round a track with no safety net, and you can get a little bit slidey if you want to, but it's so easy to do because the chassis is so good, it's so easy to manipulate. Even a complete novice like me can have a little bit of sideways fun and correct it because the steering's so good, and the power delivery is brilliant, just everything about it just works. I was chatting with someone, should we say, about the XK, because of course that's going to be killed, and if you drive the two back to back, you realise just how far Jaguar's come in a few short years. This car is nothing short of absolutely brilliant. It can't fail to put a smile on your face. I will admit though, when I first got in it and I turned all the noise on and we had a little bit of a play, I did find the noise a little bit too much. I thought, oh, maybe they've gone a bit far, the cracks and the bangs and the pops, maybe it's a bit too much. Then I realised I needed to stop being a grown-up and start being the type of child that really enjoys this kind of thing. And then yeah, it's perfect, it's absolutely brilliant. So much drama, so much noise, and when you nail it, when you put your foot to the floor, the acceleration is this wonderful linear go. It's so smooth and so ferocious, it's rapid, it's absolutely brilliant. It's this wonderful wave, and you hear and feel the engine build up, and then all of a sudden all hell breaks loose. There's noise, there's fire, brimstone, ashes. It's addictive, especially if you find a tunnel. I've driven this now in pretty much every situation, and it's such an adaptable car. It's not a dramatic vehicle if you don't want it to be. I will say one thing about the noise though, because when it is turned up and all Armageddon's falling out of the back of the car, you can hear it from miles away. Miles and miles and miles. People can listen to it. You see them sort of halfway down the street going, well, hello, what's that? Also, did have a minor altercation with the fuzz. They heard it before they saw it and politely asked me if I knew what the speed limit was because my car sounded fast. In reality, I was just in second gear, having a lot of fun. I can't really think of anything bad to say about it. This is the car that Jaguar really needed to make it a true aspirational, yes, I really want a Jag car. This is it. Jag's done incredibly well here. The convertible was the car that got the F-Type rolling, and it's one of the loveliest cars to roll out of Jag's gates. But the coupe adds that little extra something, but it's something I can't quite put my finger on. Is it the look, the power, the drive? I just don't know. But what I do know is this. The convertible is a staggeringly good, brilliant car, but the coupe is the car that I've been waiting for Jaguar to make for years. And I'll wager it's the car you've been waiting for too.